As we continue to learn through the Haggadah, the Keep Sukkah, we find at the Seder that the Baal Haggadah shows as the main part of Magid is the psukim from a Rami Oved Avi. These are the psukim that we say, that we analyze, that we describe, that we give the Mamre Chazal about, that we're as we continue to learn through the Haggadah, the main psukim, the key psukim of the Haggadah, what was chosen as one of the main texts of the Haggadah, are the psukim of Rami Oved Avi, the psukim of the speech that one would declare when he brought his first fruits to the Kohen, and the declaration and the salvation that Kadosh Baruch Hu provided through us through all of Jewish history. And in these psukim we say, Vayered Mitzrayim, and Haggadah explains, Onus al pi adibor. Onus al pi adibor could mean we were compelled to go down, or means we went down through word, through dibor. Now, what does that mean? So many commentaries explain, how does the saga begin with the Jews in Mitzrayim? We know when Yosef was sold into Egypt, that's eventually how they got down. And in fact, the Gemara in Pesachim tells us that when we would eat the Korban Pesach, we would wrap it in the skin of the animal and throw it over our backs. And and Rashi says, Derech Sochra Yishmaelim. We're recreating even the sale of Yosef into Mitzrayim. And that there's so much to talk about. Pesach and Tisha B'Av are always on the same night. We're rectifying the sin of Sinas Chinam with Avas Chinam. Beautiful. But Rabbi Abraham J. Twersky in his Haggadah explains that perhaps that's not when the saga begins. When does the saga really begin? Dibasam Ra'a El Avihem. It's when Yosef brings bad words, Dibasam, Dibor, to his father. And those few words that ultimately, the bad that his brothers were doing, those few words ultimately resulted in their hatred, and getting sold to Mitzrayim, and in the whole process unfolding. And had Yaakov refused to accept a wild idea, who knows what could have happened? The Chavetz Chaim, so often in his Hilchos Lashon Hora, talks not only about listening, so talking about the Lashon Hora, but listening to Lashon Hora. When I listen, number one, it's passive, but number two, I'm giving an open ear to somebody who wants to say Lashon Hora. So Twersky explains, sticks and stones may break my bones, but names will never hurt me, is not true in Chazal. It's not true in our religion. Words have impact. Words have meaning. Words have a way to cut through somebody, and they can harm. And that's this onus al pia dibor, not only Yosef and his brothers, but even when Yosef spoke about his brothers, and Yaakov was listening to what Yosef said. As we sit around our table, we should realize that not only do we not speak bad about others, we can't even listen to the Lashon Hara. To use the Seder night to speak good about others, to create a community where we're accepting, we're all embracing, where we don't listen to that. Where somebody says something and the norm is, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. It's Lashon Hara. And that norm is that not only are we not listening, but we don't even have to say it, where we use positive speech. That's how we ended up in Mitzrayim, Anos al Pia Dibor, and eventually, words is how we'll bring our Geula Shalem.